used to think silence was the safest place to hide. But that night, sitting at my family's Sunday dinner table, I realized silence can bury you alive. It started like it always did. Fake smiles, clinking forks, and the kind of small talk that pretends to be innocent before it cuts you open. My sister Lena held court at the head of the table, scrolling through her phone like she was presenting exhibits at a museum. "Look at this angle," she bragged, turning her screen toward Mom. "Quartzite counters, custom cabinets, soft close, everything. Honestly, home ownership changes your entire life." Mom nodded like she was witnessing a miracle. "You've always been so responsible with money." I kept chewing my food. Quiet. Invisible. The role I'd perfected. Dad stabbed his roast like it owed him rent. "Mara, when are you going to think about buying a place? You can't rent forever. You're almost 30. He said, almost like it was a failing grade. Lena leaned back with that smug, effortless confidence she wore like perfume. "It's not her fault, Dad. Not everyone qualifies for a mortgage. Some people just don't have the savings or the credit score." Every word was coated in sugar and arsenic. To them, I was the one stuck in a tiny apartment, working at a small consulting firm, driving a modest car, drifting through life with no plan except survival. They didn't know me. They knew a character they invented. Uncle Paul chimed in next because in my family judgment was a participation sport. "Buying requires discipline, Mara. Not everybody's built for that responsibility." I nodded, swallowed another forkful of green beans and played my part. Eventually dessert came and like clockwork Lena followed me into the kitchen because a lecture always pairs well with lemon pie. "Don't take Dad so seriously," she said softly, as if she wasn't the one who started it. "If you ever want help finding an agent or applying for a loan, I know someone who specializes in tighter budgets." I smiled, because smiling was easier than telling the truth. The drive home was quiet, except for the echo of all the things they thought they knew about me. The same assumptions. The same judgments. The same blindness. But none of them knew the real secret. For 2 years, I had been paying Lena's mortgage. It began the night she called me sobbing, genuine panic sobbing, the kind that strips a person bare. Her job had collapsed. Her savings were gone. She was staring down a $3,150 monthly payment with no safety net. "I can't lose the house, Mara," she cried. "Please, don't tell them. You know how they see me. I'll pay you back. I promise." I told her it was temporary. It wasn't. Month after month I covered everything while she rebuilt her image from dust. And as she lectured me about financial responsibility, she conveniently forgot who was keeping her afloat. And the irony? I could afford it. Because the consulting firm they believed I worked for was nothing more than a polite disguise. My real job, the truth I never shared, was running a real estate company I built from scratch. I owned 19 rental units, collected rent checks while I slept, negotiated deals between my morning coffee and my afternoon workouts. I wasn't struggling. I just didn't need applause for my success. The next morning I went through my routine, reviewing leases, approving maintenance requests, checking occupancy rates. Business was strong. Very strong. That's when Lena texted. Dinner was great. Thinking of renovating the guest bathroom next. You know how it is. Once you start upgrading, you can't stop. I stared at that message, at the carefree entitlement in it, at her excitement about a renovation she had no way to afford. And something inside me snapped. I called my financial coordinator. "Stop processing the monthly transfer to Lena. Immediately." She hesitated. "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure." Then I called Lena. Her voice was light, cheerful, still floating on the high of her own fantasy. "Mara, what's up?" "The payments are stopping," I said. "Next month is the last." Silence. Heavy. Shaking. "What?" "Mara, I can't pay the full mortgage. I told you that. I thought we agreed you understood." I did understand. For 2 years. But I can't keep funding your lifestyle while you pretend to be the successful one. "What are you talking about?" "I don't lecture you. Last night you spent an hour explaining financial maturity to me." Another silence. This one cold. I needed to keep my image," she whispered. "I worked so hard to get that house. I couldn't admit I'd failed." "You didn't fail, Lena. You hid. And you expected me to let you hide forever." She cried. She begged. She promised new timelines. I'd heard it all before. 3 days later, She called an emergency family meeting. By the time I walked into my parents' living room, the air felt charged, like something was about to break. Lena stood in the center of the room, eyes red, hands trembling. I need to tell everyone something. Mom rushed toward her. Sweetheart, what's wrong? I can't afford my mortgage, Lena said, voice cracking. I haven't been able to for 2 years. Mara has been paying it. The room froze. Dad blinked at me, confused. But how? You don't even. I own 19 properties, I said calmly. I manage a real estate company worth over $13 million. The word million hung in the air like a bomb. Uncle Paul's jaw dropped. 19. It's not complicated, I said. I started small, learned fast, grew faster. Dad's voice broke first. Mara, we misjudged you. Yes, I said simply, Mom whispered. But why didn't you tell us? Because your opinions were never the reason I worked hard. I didn't need validation. I needed peace. And I definitely didn't need to sit through lectures from someone whose mortgage I paid. Lena winced, tears spilling again. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I couldn't let anyone see me fail. And I couldn't keep pretending your success was real, I replied, yelling. No revenge. Just truth. There was a long aching pause, then Dad said softly. We owe you an apology. All of us. I nodded. Yeah, you do. And for the first time they actually saw me. Not the underachiever. Not the quiet one. Me.